2020. Baseball's dead! Got a lot to talk about. Evan Foxy, please play some Chase Rice.
It's the perfect occasion to little vacation from the heart of the nation. Out of your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right it is, Chase Rice. I'm the guy you just sang about. Boston Connor's on the casting couch. Nick Beraldo's on the ones and twos. Diggs is here. Ty's here. Jason, happy birthday. Hey! Yay! Diva Lazito, Evan Foxy, and Tom McComas on the phones, 1-833-622-3331. Today we'll be joined by Michael Lombardi, former GM of the Browns. Also in the Patriots organization there, post Aaron Hernandez. Might have to talk about that. But what we really have him in here is not only because he's Italian, he's a good gambler, but because he understands football very well. He's normally a very good gambler. Now, he's had his misses this year. Let's not get crazy, but he's had a lot more wins. He'll give us his picks for this massive championship weekend in the NFL. Also, Derek Morgan, who grew up in an Amish town, then went on to play for the Tennessee Titans, will be joining us in the second hour. Evan Foxy will be doing a $1,000 Cash App shot.
You go, Fox.
Going into the first commercial break here in a second. So if you're watching on the YouTube or on DAZN, you'll get a chance to see a possible redemption shot for this white kid from Michigan who normally has a pretty good jumper, and also a very possible another fail by this white kid from Michigan who has a pretty good jumper. He airballed the last time we did this, and that was a tough – it was an airball.
It's on the screen if you want to put
It looked like an airball.
It looked like an airball. Connor was there. But, hey, we'll keep it moving. I already forgot about that shot because good shooters have short-term memory loss.
Yeah, okay. I respect that. $1,000 if he makes it, we'll give out on the Cash App. Now, today is Friday, January 17th. On Thursday, January 16th, I think the MLB was officially pronounced dead. I honestly believe that Thursday, January 16th, 2020, is potentially the day. Let me get it out. It's a massive announcement. Major League Baseball died. Honestly, I think we go back all the way back whenever Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, whenever I was a child watching this bomb show just hit home runs, and Barry Bonds' head went from a size like 5 New Era lid to like a size like 7.5 New Era lid. I mean, he had like a 10. His head grew, and baseball was in this era. It's literally called the steroid era, I believe, if I'm accurate, right?
Yep.
Baseball was awesome at that time. It was absolutely awesome. You'd see these barbarians step into these boxes with these sticks that are like telephone poles, and these pitchers would just be throwing BP to these guys, basically, and they'd be hitting them out of stadiums. There used to be people in boats parked outside of every stadium because these mongoloids would be going in there and hitting baseballs further than they've ever been hit before. Baseball was at an all-time high. Then, obviously, the steroid era came to a crashing end because of health and cheating and this and that. The government got involved. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds, I believe, all just lied right to the government's face. Nothing ever happened from it, but they lied to them. And then baseball became same old boring baseball again, right? That's what happened. So then we fast forward, and all of a sudden, this 2017 Houston Astros team starts making almost like the steroid era again. All of Houston becomes Astro fans. We went to a Houston Astros playoff game, and that place was packed to the gills. It felt exactly like a Houston Texans game, which I'm assuming the Astros fans were always diehard, and we were there at a playoff game. But they had a massive fan base, probably because in 2017 they made baseball enjoyable again. They were just hitting balls. Every ball at home was basically a home run. Bam, 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 bam. You're like, wow, this team really thrives off of the emotion of their fan base. This team, whenever they're at home, is so damn good. So then these rumblings started coming out that there was a live camera feed from center field that led into a room right off the dugout where they were sending in with baseball bats on garbage cans and whistling what pitch was coming. And we had Tucker Barnhart on. And Tucker Barnhart was like, that's kind of an unwritten rule. I mean, if they're able to decipher the thing with the live feed and send in the message to the batter, it's like definitely not something that everybody's doing is basically what he said. But it is something that he as a catcher, had to combat, and the pitcher and everything like that had to combat, and he didn't really think it was that big of a deal. He was like, listen, people are losing their careers because of this. People are getting fired because of this. It's not really technically written into the rule book until like 2018. So although it is a little shady, basically, he said it was an unwritten rule. Then just yesterday came out that these dudes had robots breaking down the film and they were sending in through buzzers that were taped on their chests. And then there's this incriminating video of Altuve holding his jersey after hitting a walk-off home run at home and basically telling his entire team, like, don't take my shirt off right now, because there was a chance he had a wire taped to him that would buzz his chest and tell him what pitch was coming. Now, we did a little research, and we looked into what Altuve said to Ken Rosenthal immediately after that, where he said, last time, basically, my shirt got off, his wife was pissed. His wife was not happy. So Diggs and I went back, and we're like, well, when was his shirt off that his wife would have been pissed? And we found these photos, if you're watching on the YouTube or DAZN. There are a lot of pictures of him with his shirt off, and he is... He's an Instagram model. He is an Instagram model, but in all those photos, you don't see any tape job on his body. Now, we don't know if that's from the 2017 season, whenever they were breaking all the records or not, but it did look very bad. And then there's a guy sit down doing an interview where it looks like he has like a microphone taped to his chest. People are saying that they would buzz in through a device, and then it would shock their chest like one of those old ab belt things in like a stim machine. It would shock their chest to tell them how many or what pitch is coming while they're sitting in the batter's box. And that, to me, is wild. Because what had to have happened was the garbage cans messages were getting mixed up. There was probably another way for them to do it. And then somebody was like, nope, to hell with it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have robots break down the film, and then we're going to have those same robots just buzz it right into the guy that's in the batter's box. And they're like, well, we can do that? They're like, yeah, we can do that. Deal. Let's sell another 5,000 hats real quick. Let's pay for this robot that breaks down the thing and then zooms in a little shock to them. And I think, honestly, you listen to these pitchers talk about it, the pitchers are like, we'd much rather have the mongoloids that were on steroids in there than somebody in the batter's box that knows exactly what pitch is coming. And I think that is a sad situation for baseball. It just looks bad. It just looks shady. A sport that we once enjoyed the most because they were all on steroids, and it got taken away, that they were taking the high ground and there was no cheating. Now it's coming out that like all the good players were cheating in like a much more shady fashion than if they were just out there obviously juicing.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Like, I remember when all the steroid stuff officially broke and people were acting like it was the end of times. That it's almost like it's nothing compared to this current stuff, because it's like the cheating is on such a different level and it's so like mischievous and there's so many schemes involved. It
looks bad. Ty's a big baseball guy. He played in college, right? And now in the NFL, they have remote or a speaker right to the quarterback's ear and the middle linebacker's ear, obviously. So I think that's how the baseball people would make the connection. They'd be like, well, you know, in football they do this and this. But I think it's like, yeah, everybody does it, though. I think the fact that only some people were buzzing directly in the chest is what makes it look even worse, you know? But if this was something where guys were allowed to just eat all the steroids possible and have a buzzer to their chest. I mean, now we're talking about home run derby every single night, and I can play with that game. That's a baseball I can watch. Sucks for the pitchers, but that's something.
This is probably anti-steroid people's fault. Like, hitting a baseball is very, very hard. So to combat that, they first did uppers or greenies or whatever they're called, and then those got outlawed. And then they did steroids, and then those got outlawed, and they were like, well, you know, we're just going to turn to technology because that's just the best thing that we could do now. So it's probably the anti-greenies and anti-steroids humans' fault.
Yeah, I think they should look in the mirror.
Yeah.
What was your pop time, dude?
My top time?
Yeah.
1-8.
Oh, Tony.
I don't know what that means, but I do know that Diggs was a catcher. We had a catcher on the other day, Tucker Barnhart, and we posted a video of what he said, and he said on here, before all these things came out, and then people were watching the video of him from a couple days ago, acting as if it was at the time now where we know a lot more, because this is a very fast developing story. And Tucker Barnhart had this to say. Remember, this is a Gold Glove catcher who was probably on those cameras that are being deciphered by robots at some point.
Pat, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I just want to kind of come on and clarify some things. You know, I said if a lot, and the reason I did that is because I wasn't necessarily educated on the situation as much as I would have liked to have been, and I've done that in the last kind of 24 hours and watched and read and things like that. And what I thought was going on in the first place was we were talking about a live TV feed and banging on a trash can, and I thought that was the end of it. And to me, it didn't seem like that big of an issue because there's only so many things you can see on a live TV feed, first of all. And I kind of equated it to picking up signs while you're standing at second base or noticing that a pitcher's tipping his pitches. But now with what's come out in the last 24 hours, it's something that with what's been rumored as far as buzzers and wires and things like that, if that is true, I mean, there's no part in our game for anything like that. And you're talking about altering careers in a negative way for pitchers, and you're talking about bumping careers for guys that were in a position where they were getting what was being thrown to them. So there's a lot to be had here. We're obviously still sorting through everything that's gone on, and I would assume that the punishments aren't over, one, and then two, I would assume that all the information isn't out there. So, again, man, I appreciate you having me back. Let me clarify a few things. But, again, I think the punishments probably aren't harsh enough. If you're talking about scandals like the Black Sox, you're talking about steroid era type stuff. And I've seen some guys say that they would rather have faced guys that were taking steroids rather than guys that know what pitch is coming every single pitch that they see. And that's saying a ton. You're talking about one of the most historic eras in baseball history, and this seems like it's right on par with those. And so it's something that doesn't need to be in our game. I hope it's done. I hope it's gone. I mean, I think the sign picking when you're at second base, noticing that a pitcher is tipping his pitches, that's part of the game. And now when you take a next step and you have computers and algorithms and robots and things like that, that's taking it too far. And again, I hope there's nothing like that in our game anymore, and I hope they continue to find out what was going on and how they decide to take care of it. Hopefully they do so in a timely manner, and hopefully it sends a big message. Again, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
So that's very interesting. And a lot of people, as soon as I said, like, hey, Tucker, he and I were talking last night about all these developments that were coming out. And I was like, you have to come back on the show. Like, you have to come back on the show now that these things have happened. He's like, well, I'm on a plane literally all day tomorrow. Can I send you a video? I said, absolutely. I think a lot of people think, oh, Tucker must have gotten in trouble by somebody to say that. And I honestly don't think that's the case. I think what had happened was this all happened. So, I mean, Carlos Beltran out as the Mets guy. Mm-hmm. Mike Trout got dragged into this last night. I mean, this is all just spinning like this. Like, this is a news story about the MLB that hasn't happened in a long time. The MLB hasn't captivated a viral story like this in so long.
Yeah.
And we were at the World Series, and we do the sports show. So I guess we kind of talked about that, but I don't think there was as much chatter about the World Series as there is about this. And I feel like that might be baseball's biggest problem, is the only time it is really chatted about on a real stage, on a real conversation, is when terrible things happen. And this is a terrible thing, and it's going to look bad for the MLB. But I'd assume the people that are the MLB truthers will respect and appreciate all the punishments and go back to that. But I don't think this is going to bring in more fans. I think this is only going to drive more people away from a sport that doesn't have a lot of people still with it, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the biggest concern, too, is clearly Altuve is taking a lot of heat right now because he won the MVP the year all this stuff came out. But there are a lot of guys that have been doing this. I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg. And if they really decide to go all in and start looking into this, they're going to find a lot more guys that are doing this.
I liked your thought because I was thinking why would they have stuff on their chest, or why would they need to bang garbage cans and stuff like that and whistle in the dugout if they did have this buzzer? But I like your thought of, hey, this banging and whistling is creating a lot of noise over here. Maybe we should just do it a little quieter. I like that. I like that thinking.
Well, Tucker Barnhart, like the catcher that just talked right there for Cincinnati, Gold Glove winner, right? So he's good at what he does. He's been in. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, Gold Glove, a very, very good defensive catcher.
Okay, so he's a stud. He's from Indiana. I've had a chance to be friends with him for a while now. Legit dude, right? So whenever he came on and was like, hey, this is why you change signals, this is why you do all this, I think in his mind, and probably in a lot of guys' minds, they're like, okay, even if they have a camera on me, it is my job to make this so difficult that they won't know what is coming, right? I feel like that's something he took pride in, right? That's why he would say, you hear people go, they'd have the pitcher-catcher meetings. Like for me, for instance, or even a quarterback, whenever you're trying to do a hard count, right? You're trying to not give that away at all. You're trying to make it as same as possible, and then bang, you're trying to catch people, right? I feel like that's that's how he thought originally. The fact now, though, that they have like some algorithm and like a robot trying to decipher it like immediately on the spot, like, he slows down at this one every single time, like whatever it is. I think that is where he finally was like, this can't happen. Now, like, you're having me go against Watson like Brad did in Jeopardy. Like, what do you want from me right now? It's a very interesting turn of events for the baseball world.
Yeah, that was my one thing is it had to be because I didn't know about the robot thing came out late. So I was thinking, how is this possible when they do all these things to decipher signs and like hide signs? You have to be the smartest human in the world to look at those signs,
Ernie
decipher them,
Adams.
and then within 1 second get it to the batter in time for them to use it. So that's why I didn't think it was possible. But now, if Watson's doing it.
Yeah, if Watson's doing it, you got no chance. All right, we got to get to a break because we got Michael Lombardi on the other side to tell us about the championship weekend. Right now, though, is the time that Evan Foxy gets a chance to redeem himself.
Come on, Fox.
Foxy, let's go. Go
Remember
out there
last
right now,
time.
Foxy. Go out there right now. Connor, you going with him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Foxy is now making his way out to the main part of our office where there is a NBA three-point basketball court setup, basically. Foxy has one of the best jumpers of all time, honestly. Whenever the cameras haven't been on him, he has been incredible. We're talking about making like 15 straight threes, 72 straight free throws at one point. Then just last week or 2 weeks ago, he stepped up to make some money, and he missed. Zito, do we have him on film? Connor, can you hear me out there? Can we turn on his mic, please? Connor, can you hear me out there?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Foxy. Feel Good Friday, January 17th. You make this, go back to him. You make this $1,000 is to be given away on Cash App to the people.
go.
How do you feel?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. All right? Like, let's just be honest. There's a lot of people watching. I can only go up from here.
Yeah.
But those last two shots I took were really bad.
Okay.
Let's see how this one goes.
Foxy's
I mean,
feeling good because the Joe Bros just released a new song. He's
Thank
wearing
you, yep.
a mustard sweater. It looks kind of like throw up, but the kid looks good. Tight jeans. Here we go, Foxy.
Here
For
we go.
$1,000 on the Cash App giveaway. Evan Foxy with a fresh fade, good beard, couple dribbles. Brick for the people. Let's get to a break. Michael Lombardi. He's dead. He's dead. That's tough. That's embarrassing. The kid who never misses when the camera isn't on has now missed twice for thousands and thousands of dollars to give away to the people.
that one felt the best, too.
It looked the exact same. Another miss for Foxy. Hopefully we'll continue to have nothing but bangers. Let's get to a break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Rest in peace, Foxy. I don't want to interrupt the guitar solo there. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. It is 23 minutes after the hour.
Whoa.
Whoa. 23 minutes after the hour here on this Feel Good Friday, January 17th. Joining us right now is a man who's a general manager in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns, then worked in the Patriots organization for a while. Now you can hear his voice on the GM Shuffle and on VSiN where he hosts a show. Incredible gambler, legendary Italian Michael Lombardi.
Thank you. I wish I don't gamble much, as
Picker, sorry.
I just like to give out advice, but I will say this, Patrick. I thought you looked dapper. You looked Don Draper-like in that. With that, I thought it was impressive in New Orleans. Yeah, well done.
The all black.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, you added to the broadcast. Look, they can talk about getting Tony Romo all they want. Like, we got to get you on there. There's no doubt.
That's never going to happen. You and I both know there's zero chance of that happening.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know if there's zero chance. I mean, I think we've moved into an era where we need to be a little bit entertained too,
Yeah, people get bored easily. That is something that happens these days. People get bored easily. If your first 3 seconds on a video on your social media platform isn't good, all people are going to do is just scroll. That's moving to the television too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 2.5-year-old grandson. He can work it. You're not going to keep his. Like, if Mickey Mouse doesn't come heavy, they're not keeping him, right? He's going away. Mickey's even knows he's got to come heavy. So it's the same thing, So I don't know. I think you do a great job. I don't watch much ESPN, but I like to watch you. So that's always good.
Oh, Mr. Lombardi, I appreciate that. I enjoy our conversations because you have so much experience in the NFL, right? Front office side, coaching side, scouting side, breaking down side, analytical side. I mean, everything you've been a part of in the NFL. I want to ask you a question about right now. There's quite a PR issue with the wide receiver group in the NFL right now, right? Julian Edelman hops on a car. Antonio Brown threw a literal bag of baby makers at, I think, his baby mom, right? Like he threw a bag of penises at somebody, for lack of better words. And then obviously all this Odell Beckham stuff at the national championship where he slaps a security guard on the butt, gets a battery charge. He's there a arrest warrant. There's money dap up happening. I mean, the bad PR for the wide receivers of the NFL right now. In your eyes, okay, now obviously Julian Edelman will have a job and Odell Beckham will have a job. Is there any team that will ever sign Antonio Brown ever again, you think?
Not unless he goes to Vienna and gets completely seen by a team of psychologists. I mean, I don't think we can do it in this country. I think he needs to go to Vienna, the home of analysis, right? I think he needs to go to Vienna and see a team of doctors, just not one, like a team of people. Like that's what Seinfeld told George. You need to go to Vienna.
Hold on. We're laughing at something that is potentially,
I'm being dead serious. I said this back before you even signed with the Patriots. Like I said, there's something wrong here. We got to get to the bottom of it. Like there's something wrong. And I think Rosenhaus, most of the time, when you react to something, you're usually too late. And I think Drew, who's a really good guy and a good agent and all that, he makes deals. But I don't think he really had a true handle of the severity of what's going on in this poor guy's mind. I mean, he needs to get some help. He really does.
I think now remember Rich Eisen, I think on air asked somebody to ask Drew Rosenhaus if he was mentally stable or mentally healthy. And basically some people came at Rich for saying like that was a very rude question because mental health is a big ordeal. I think even more so after this Aaron Hernandez documentary has come out about NFL players, it's something to talk about. But what he's been doing is just, I've always thought that there was a chance he'd be able to get back, right? If the accusations that were horrific aren't true, and if all these other things that he could just slow down off the field. I don't think there's any slowing down from Antonio Brown off the field. And now he just signed $1 million deal with DAZN. DAZN just paid him $1 million to box Logan Paul, and somehow he is not the favorite. Let's just assume that Antonio Brown's going to figure out boxing just as Logan Paul figured out boxing.
I mean, how smart is DAZN? I mean, think about it. Think of the interest that they're going to get on these fights, and then we're going to be able to have two announcers that, instead of having Get Up or whatever that show is, or Stephen A. Smith, and we're going to have those two people in boxing rings now. I mean, we've really gone back to the Coliseum days, right? Instead of arguing and debating, we're going to now go into the Coliseum, and the zone's going to pay $1 million to each. You guys are going to battle it out.
Adam Pac-Man Jones, he said, I believe his exact words were, I heard AB's boxing now or fighting or something like that against Logan Paul. And then Adam Jones said, you can pay me to fight. I'll beat up. Then he said,
hold on. On the gladiator days, I don't think there's any doubt the zone will be at the forefront of it all, which is really, really smart.
I think Pac-Man would like them to sign him to a $2 million deal. He said he'll knock them both out. He said, I'll knock them both out. That'd be very interesting.
I just think, in all seriousness, he's screaming for help, Antonio Brown.
I think so.
He's not screaming for a boxing match. It's going to have to be an intervention, because I'm sure no one feels like he doesn't feel like he needs help. But I think he does. I really do.
I sent him a DM a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, man, I'm going to be down in Florida. Wanted to know if I could come talk to you, right, for YouTube. I wanted to go have a conversation with him. And he said, we can do that. You, my guy, was his response. He didn't spell out you. It was just the you. So I thought I thought we had a chance there. I was like, sounds good. Let's figure it out. And then I got left unseen. Like, I thought I was going to have a chance to go talk to him. By the way, I honestly believe that there's a chance I could chit-chat with Antonio Brown and learn some things. And I don't know if I'd be able to help him. I don't think me and AB have that type of relationship. But I would like the most talented wide receiver to potentially ever play in the NFL to figure it out so he can get back. Because right now it's just a sad situation.
I agree. And the little time that he was in New England, people told me he was incredible.
Yeah.
They told me he was really smart. He knew what to do. He picked up a very complex offense quickly. He was really good in the meetings. He was energized, engaged. I think one day he didn't realize that they had to check in for breakfast before a game. The only game he played was in Miami, and they had to go up to the room to find him. And he was like, we got to go. And 2 seconds later, he was out the door ready to go. I mean, look, there's what we find. I think now we have two personas. We have the TV but unfortunately, all America sees is what he's doing with social media, and that's not good.
Yeah, he's doing terrible things. He's doing very dumb things. I hope he figures it out. Let's move forward to people that have figured it out and are doing good things. Niners, Packers, Chiefs, Titans this weekend. Do you think we got it right? Are these the top 4 teams in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think certainly San Francisco and Green Bay, the 1-2, they were seeded correctly and they came through. Tennessee's been the thorn in my side here for most of the playoffs. I mean, they've exceeded. I mean, it's funny. During the regular season, they were ranked 32nd in red zone defense, 32nd. And into the playoffs, they've kind of put a cape on and they've become Superman come in the red zone. And they've been red zone scoring too. So they're a different team. The team that hosted Kansas City in Week 10, that was a 5-point dog, is a different team now than it was then. And they beat Kansas City by 3. And if you watch that game, you would shake your head and say, how are they going to win this game? Everything had to go perfectly right for them to win. And I don't know. I got a feeling the streak's got to come to an end here.
Well, or the streak doesn't. I mean, everybody talks about who's hot at the right time. And it feels like the Titans are now, granted, the Chiefs got very hot very quickly and could have scored 100 points last week if they were able to put 4 good quarters together. But do you think the Titans, with the wave of momentum that they've been riding and the style of football they've been playing, you said they put their cape on, do you think they are a team that could potentially beat the Chiefs again like they did it earlier?
I think it's going to be really hard for them because the Chiefs move the ball up and down the field. I mean, the remaining thing is people say, well, if Henry has a big day, they'll keep the ball away from Mahomes. Henry had a big day the last time they played him, except the Titans only had the ball 22 minutes. He had 225 yards, and the Titans only had the ball 22 minutes. The Titans only held them for 7 for 15 on third down. I mean, Mahomes was the first game back. He was dynamic in that game. Tyreek Hill got hurt in a period during that game. But the problem is if you play zone against Kansas City, he'll make plays. If you play man-to-man, they can't win on the outside one-on-one. I just think it's a lot of things going on that make it really challenging. I'm going to go with Mahomes. I'm going to take the Chiefs and lay the points, here, because I just think the matchup is so strong. Whether Chris Jones plays or not, Chris Jones played the last time, and they gained 225 yards rushing. Kansas City's going to have a hard time get the run game. I think the one thing I learned from Tennessee this year is They were down 29-20 in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs the last time they played. They didn't change their personality. They didn't try to throw it. Baltimore, on the other hand, tried to become something they weren't. Baltimore panicked.
Yep.
Tennessee is not going to panic. If they're down 14 in the first quarter, they ain't panicking. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. So I think that's a good thing, but I also think that could create some real problems for them.
I have so much respect for that, though. Like, hey,
me too.
We're going to go down as us. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down as us. As opposed to Baltimore, they had Lamar throw it 59 times.
22 in the first half. I love Lamar.
So do we.
I mean, but you can't. I would say I would have a sign in the coach's room say Lamar's not throwing the ball 35 times in any game. We're not doing that. And when you throw a 22 and a half and he's got the leading rusher at 9 carries and you're only down 14-6, like, seriously, what's going on here?
Yeah, you have to think about it. You think Greg Roman panicked, or you think he was trying to get a gig?
I think you know this better than anybody. When you're a 10-point favorite and you're supposed to beat somebody, the players expect to win right now. They expect to win the game in the first quarter. And unless your mindset that we're going to win this game in the 51st minute or the 52nd minute or the 53rd, there tends to send panic to everybody, right? If you don't coach the team up and say, look, this game is not going to get decided until the 50th minute, the 54th minute. It's going to be an even game. Every blowout's even for a long time. And I think when they didn't get ahead of them quickly, they panicked.
Tom McMahon was my special teams coach for the last 4 years of my career, which was my best 4 years. He had me panicked and scared every game going into about how good the returner was. He had me, He would show me these kids like high school highlights. He would show me like every single missed tackle he's had. And he was like, this guy might, he said, now he might be ranked 28th in the league in his return yards, but don't let that fool you. And it would be like a breakdown of everything. Every game I thought I was going in against Tyreek Hill or Devin Hester. Like every game I was like, I'm going to get got here.
And I think Baltimore got a little bit, and once the game started out and Baltimore didn't dominate right away, you know, unfortunately they fell right into the Mike Tyson trap. You know, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Baltimore got punched in the mouth. They didn't have a plan after that.
Hey, Buster Douglas ate one. And then he stuck with it. Good for Buster Douglas. Okay, let's move to the Packers-49ers game. Everybody's saying that the Niners are this unsinkable ship. Like, this defense is just a colossal, like Aaron Rodgers has got no shot going in here. Do you agree with that or not?
No, I'm going to take the Packers in the points. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to take the 7.5 here. That's where the line has been. It's interesting when you look at the bets on live on my program that I do for VSiN. I mean, 62% of the money is coming in on Kansas City, but 55% of the tickets are split, but 62% of the money's on Kansas City. 62% of the tickets are on Kansas City, 55% of the money, which means there's a lot of money being bet on Tennessee.
Okay.
And then when you look at the Packer game, it's straight across. 56% of the money, 56% of the tickets. I think the Packers have a chance. They're a little contrarian in what they do. I think that they'll not play half as bad as they did the first. They were 1 for 15 on third down, Pat. They had 15 third downs in the game, and they held the ball for 35 minutes. I've never seen that before in my NFL career. That's remarkable. I think they'll play better. I think Devontae Adams will make some plays. Do I think they can, over the course of the game, can they keep up? No, but I think they can keep this game close. I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
All right, so you're taking Niners, money line, obviously, and Packers plus 7.5.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Is that going to be high scoring or low scoring, do you think?
I think the Titans game could be a little high scoring, only because I think the backdoor cover is always in play. And the other one I think could be, and the other game I think will be I think it could be a 27-24 game. I think it's going to go below 51.
Well, the Packers-Niners are 46.5 right now over under.
Yeah, and I would say that I would lean towards the under there. The over I have at South Point right now at 53 for the other game.
Okay. All right, so a little trifecta in the Packers-Niners game. Packers plus 7.5, Niners money line, and under?
Under,
All
yes.
Right. All right, we're about to make a bunch of money. Hey, by the way, you just made 6 bets. You just made 6 picks, so you got to make sure.
I made 6 recommendations.
No. You made 6 picks. We'll put them in there. Hey, Michael Lombardi, I appreciate our conversation every single. Yeah. This is something we want to talk about. Aaron Hernandez documentary just came out. Did you watch it? And when you joined
I watched the first episode of it, Pat, and what was remarkable to me being in the NFL for 35 years and collecting information on players, how much we really don't know.
Yeah.
We think we know, and how much we really, really, really don't know. And the sources that we talk to don't know either. And I think I've only seen episode 1. I'll watch episode 2, and I'm old. I can't do 3 in a row. I fall asleep too quick.
I need you to get some Roman swipes.
But I mean, I did watch. I watched The Irishman in 2 pieces. But I think there's so much from my viewpoint. There's so much we don't know about players, that we do all this testing and we spend all this money, and at the end of the day, we really, really we just skimmed the surface. Because the narrative of Aaron Hernandez was perhaps he was just really a guy who smoked dope and tested positive, but everything else was somewhat in order, and wow, was that way wrong.
See, I think a lot of social media can do bad, but I think in the modern age right now, I think they would have known about Aaron Hernandez. I think like what he was doing down in Florida when he was out of clubs and fighting and all that stuff, I think all that would have been out. Now, granted, I don't know if he would have done the same way if it was the social media, because you got to remember, phones kind of took away club life for anybody that was notable. Like, basically. I mean, there's still some people that go out and do things. Obviously, still there's people doing things. It's all over the news. But I think for a large majority of players, like, you can't really go out anymore like you used to be able to. I wonder if the modern age, all right, here's a spin zone. I wonder if the modern age social media and living in a fishbowl at all times and every single thing you do could get broadcasted to millions and millions of people would have changed Aaron Hernandez and how he acted. Because I think it all kind of started at Florida, right? And then when he would go home and come back, and Urban Meyer knew, and then it was just kind of like one of those situations where
and the narrative is always people think he grew up in an inner city, a tough neighborhood. People thought he grew up in Bridgeport, not Bristol. And Bridgeport's a rough town, and he didn't. And I think, and the one thing that I think if you talk to anybody at the Patriots, that they would tell you is he was not malicious. He was different. He just never hung around any other players. He was kind of always aloof.
And you see those interviews in the locker room. He's laughing, jovial. He just was able to flip the switch in being a monster and being a pretty good member of society, being in the NFL. I don't think he had any fines or any suspensions or anything like that.
No, I mean, he was compliant there. I mean, even though he came into the league, he had tested positive at the combine for marijuana. And so that's why his draft stock went down to the 4th round. But for the most part, he was compliant. He didn't have any trouble there other than what we didn't know.
All right. Well, Mr. Lombardi, I appreciate you. Good conversation, per usual. I hope you go 6-0 because I'm about to hammer all these.
All right. I love it, man. Look, keep getting dressed up. You got to be the design. You got to show the way. You hear me?
Yeah, you got it. And I was.
Where are you going this weekend? What do you got this weekend?
Nothing. I might be on Sunday NFL Countdown, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. They're trying to figure it out. And then I'll be in New York for Get Up on Monday.
Oh, and then you might have to go to Kansas City, or where's NFL Countdown going to be? In the studio?
They'll satellite me in. I don't think I'm actually on location.
Oh, okay.
I'll be intrigued to see how that works, by the way. They want to satellite me in to talk about specialists. But so am I just going to carry that with my voice the entire time? Are they going to put pictures? I'll be excited to see how that goes. I don't know.
Although I will say this, and I think they should have you on, because I think one of the reasons Tennessee is so good is their punter.
Brett Kern's a monster. He's so good.
I think we don't give enough credit for how he controls field position. Now, one thing is, Kansas City is almost like when you were with Peyton, field position didn't matter with Peyton.
Yeah.
Put Peyton on the 10, put him on the 40, put him on the other 40. But he was going to get to the other 40 in about 3 plays, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Mahomes. But Kern really makes it hard for teams that don't have explosive players or a complete passing game, because he can pin you back. He's a dynamic player. I think Weatherford should have got the MVP in the Super Bowl in Indianapolis there, because the Patriots starting line was 24-yard line. I know Eli got it, but sometimes we don't understand. We don't spend enough time on television talking about field position and how much it matters.
That a boy, Lombardi. You're 100% right. And you talked about Peyton there. That year he was with Denver directly when he came back and played against the Colts. I think he broke the passing touchdown record that year. Look at his starting position against the Colts that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Denver, right?
No, in Indianapolis when we beat the hell
Was
out
that
of
in Indy? Okay,
Yeah.
because I know you beat him in Denver too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough for him. That's tough. Because those games are probably massive for him. You know what I mean?
Huge.
Yeah. He just can't shake them. I mean, look, he could. He's watching Tom have 6 of them, and he's got 1. And the one he won,
two. Have a little
I'm sorry,
respect. Have a little
the
respect.
one of the ones he won, really the defense won.
But you could tell that those games for us too were massive. You know, like almost like, hey, the owner, the GM, which trickles down to the coach, is like, you know, we had to cut this guy for our current guy, so let's maybe get it together. Let's have a big game, ladies and gentlemen. Former GM Michael Lombardi. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Pat.
Good conversation there. You want 6 picks: Chiefs minus 7.5, and the money line, and the over there. Then Packers plus 7.5, Niners money line under there. Ooh, are you gonna hammer all those, Diggs?
No, I was scared because I went the opposite way. I took Tennessee and the Niners. So.
The new year is about growth and change, Diggs. If you're a business owner looking to grow your business, LinkedIn can help you find the right hires that can set you up for a strong year. LinkedIn Job screens candidates with the hard and soft as a bag of milk skills that you're looking for so you can hire the right person fast.
What are soft skills?
Well, that's a great question, Connor. Those are things like collaboration, creativity, adaptability. LinkedIn looks beyond the work skills and puts your job post in front of qualified candidates who match your business requirements perfectly. That's how LinkedIn makes sure your job post is seen by the people you want to hire, people with the skills, qualifications, and other interests that will help your business grow. It's no wonder that a person is hired every 8 seconds with LinkedIn. Wow. And why companies, listen to this, have rated LinkedIn Jobs the #1 hiring platform for delivering quality hires.
Wow.
Big award, too.
Oh, yeah.
Trophy, championship belt, you name it. Find the right person for your business today with LinkedIn Jobs. You can pay what you want and get the first $50 off. Just visit linkedin.com/Pat. Again, that's linkedin.com/Pat. to get $50 off your first job post. Terms and conditions obviously apply. We'll get to the phones on the other side of the break, finish up this first hour of this Feel Good Friday, January 17th. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show. Foxy. I am. I'm worried about our guy Foxy.
I stink, Pat.
No, see, that's what I don't like to hear right there.
You'll be okay, Fox.
Feels like Foxy might have lost his confidence, his basketball shot. The show was moving so fast in the first hour, I didn't get a chance to watch back his colossal miss. I mean, of paramount proportions, honestly, from the first break there, where if he would have just made an NBA three, which he does on a very regular basis, every day, actually.
Multiple times a day.
He does full-time shooting drills. If he just would have made that one shot, we would have gave away $1,000. But instead, he bricks it, and now it's 2 times that Foxy has kind of screwed the people.
I stink. I'd like to apologize to those people. I'd like to apologize to you guys for embarrassing the office.
That's all right.
And I'd like to apologize to Williamson High School because they grew a better basketball player than I am right now.
Hey, you know what? The good thing about you, Foxy, is you'll bounce back.
I agree.
Or not.
Let's go. Or not.
Hey, next shot's the best shot.
Damn
There you
right.
go.
Keep stroking, cuz. Let's go to Gordon in Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in America.
Hey, how's it going, Pat?
Lieutenant Dangle, my favorite officer in the history of the police, used to serve in Reno, and I can't thank him enough, and the people that publicly serve down there in your city. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, if Odell would have seen him in those booty shorts.
Oh, man.
Gordon, please.
Dude, they're different energy, pretty heavy.
All right, Gordon. Jeez.
So my question for you guys is, after what happened with Eli Manning on his draft night back in 2004, are you thinking anything like that could happen with the teams that are looking to get a quarterback this year?
Gordon, great question. Remember, Eli Manning was drafted to the Chargers, and the Manning family said, I don't think we're going to the West Coast. He goes to the Giants. Chargers get Phillip Rivers, and that's all she wrote. I don't know if anybody will do that. Jimmy Burrow, Joey Burrow's dad, came out and said that he would welcome and be excited about the opportunity to play for the Bengals. Now, will Tua do that if he gets drafted, let's say Detroit or something along those lines? Not that Detroit deserves that. I mean, they have Matthew Stafford, and he's probably going to come back from a broken back better than he ever was. But
Bingo.
If anybody was to do that, I think now they would get buried so hard for it. I think back whenever he did it, you could control the narrative with the media spin on it. Nowadays, I think it would be big on the interwebs.
Yeah, it sucks for the Bengals that notion was even out there and that people had to ask the question, would your son play for the Bengals?
It'd be really good for you and your family, to get your kid back into your home state. But how do you feel about him potentially being a bungle? Oh, he'd love it. He'd love it. Okay, so we can say that? We're allowed to say that publicly? Is this on the record or off the record? He's like, yeah, go ahead and let it eat. That is sad. The Bengals fans, by the way, loyal, good group of fans. They don't deserve this. Let's go to James in Findlay, Ohio. Speaking of, this is the guy yesterday, big Michigan fan, asked about Harbaugh. I said he was potentially an Ohio State fan. I apologize for that, James. What do you want to talk about? Got about a minute left.
You there, Pat?
Yeah, James, can you hear me, pal?
All right. Yeah. Actually, I'm a Michigan fan, so the little brother Foxy back there has missed 3 shots and cost the fans $2,500.
Is that why you called in, James?
I respect that, James. I respect that a lot, James.
I want to talk about the Titans.
Bro, you just got buried by James in Findlay, Ohio.
James, come on.
James, you want to talk about the Titans real quick? We only got like 30 seconds.
Yes. Okay. What are they going to do with both free agents Henry and Tannehill after this season?
Great question, James. I think they're going to give Tannehill a realistic contract. I think he's going to get like $15 million a year, maybe $20 million a year. I think Tannehill will agree to that. And in comparison to every other quarterback that's in the playoffs right now or going to be in the playoffs, incredible deal for them. I think they'll be able to pay Henry because of that deal. And then I think they'll be able to keep this team that has become monstrous and kind of have learned about the monster within. I think the Titans have learned how good they are now. Being able to win breeds confidence, and they've been able to win whenever you need to. That's good for them. I think they pay Tannehill a realistic contract, pay Derrick Henry, bang, they got a team. Now, will that happen? Probably not. Tannehill's agent will come out and say he wants $50 million. I have no idea, but I hope that's what happens because that team has been fun to watch. I'm excited for them this weekend. I think they're going to get beat by the Chiefs, but I'm excited for that Titans team. Yeah, this first hour is over.
Great first hour.
Wow.
Not a bad first hour. Honestly. Go take a pee. Take a poop. We'll be back on the other side. It's Feel Good Friday at the Pat McAfee Show.
vacation from the heart of the nation. Not your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right it is, Chase Rice. That's a country music singer right there that just sang that. And it is Friday, January 17th, 2020. Big day in the world of sports. It is officially one day after the MLB has officially passed away. I'm joking. Obviously, this is the most that the league has been talked about since the steroid era because of all these revelations that have been coming out about how baseball players hit baseballs. There's robots, there's sign stealing, there's buzzers that are taped to people's chests. There's a whole bunch of shady things happening in the MLB, and it's all unraveling right in front of our eyes right now. How will they bounce back? How will baseball regain a little bit of self-legitimacy? I'll be excited to watch that. But know this, baseball fans don't care about what I think. They don't care about what ESPN thinks. They don't care about what Fox Sports thinks. They don't care what anybody who is currently talking about baseball as being this potential being a very large black eye on the league, which it is, by the way. People that used to watch baseball maybe back in the day during the steroid era, and then the baseball took this moral high ground about how they're a better league than that. And now it just turns out that everybody was just doing incredibly high-tech things to cheat and screw pitchers. Now we got baseball fans tweeting me, telling me that it doesn't matter. This is a tweet from Josh Koskia, at Josh Koskia from Middletown, Connecticut.
Ugh, hate Connecticut.
He's a Red Sox fan. Huh?
Guy's a Red Sox fan. NFL got superstars retiring early and can't get penalties right in big moments. No one likes the NBA till May. MLS is a myth, he says. WNBA is the WNBA. Whoa.
Easy, pal.
Josh Koskia.
Jeez.
I love baseball. It's the best sport in the world. They'll be fine when people who don't like baseball mind their own damn business. I can respect that because I wasn't a baseball fan. So maybe my opinion does not matter. And maybe this entire scandal is something that no PR is bad PR, including terrible PR that everybody of your stars has been cheating. So maybe 2020 will be the most watched MLB season ever now that we know that they got Terminator and wired up men in the batter's boxes. Maybe this is good for the league, and maybe this guy is 100% right, Josh Koskia.
Well, I think you have to take it with a grain of salt coming from a guy who thinks women should just be in the kitchen,
that's
making
what he
sandwiches.
said.
That's basically what this guy
That's what
said.
Josh Koskia said.
In so many words, that's what this guy
By the way,
said.
Indiana Fever, I'm a massive fan. I would say I've been to more Fever games in the last probably 3 years than Pacer games. And the WNBA, hey, those ladies get buckets.
Yeah, and they just renegotiated all their contracts. They're getting paid more now. I mean, the
Josh
WNBA
Koskia.
is legitimate.
Thriving.
Okay,
And great to gamble on, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people have a little bit of respect. But Josh Koskia is a big-time baseball fan, and he's just trying to protect baseball, he says.
Hey, is there anything to 2017 season? Altuve hit 70 points higher on the road, and the Astros were also better hitting on the road.
Okay, so break down what you just said to people that aren't baseball
Okay, so the scandal was supposed to be that they were stealing signs at home.
And they had robots deciphering the videos and the algorithms, and then that would buzz into players like Jose Altuve, who would be wearing something on their chest that was like a stimulator machine that would buzz their chest and tell them what pitch is coming. This is what is being alleged right now, by the way. These are the things that are being talked about in baseball, that a robot was watching a screen or taking in a video, dissecting it, and then sending a buzzer to the batter that was in the batter's box to let him know what pitch was coming. If it vibrates one time, boom, boom, fastball. 2 times, boom, boom, curveball. 3 times, we don't know what we're doing. Slow it down, back it out. Let's get another one. That's what they are alleging happened. Jose Altuve, who is this incredible story. He's a 5'6" guy who's been an MVP of a World Series. He's this incredible story. There's a video comes out of him yesterday jogging back with his jersey, holding it on his body because he says his wife doesn't want him to be shirtless on national TV anymore. Everybody else is saying because he had a buzzer on him, which led him to hitting a walk-off home run in the ALCS against the New York Yankees.
Correct.
So There's videos, there's all these stories coming out and all these things. And Jose Altuve, who's been one of my favorite stories in baseball from a 30,000-foot view, I've been outside looking in. This little tiny little fella is in a world of mongoloids hitting baseballs forever. I mean, that is just an awesome thing. But now everybody's saying, well, he's been cheating. That's how he does it. He looks like an Instagram model with his shirt off. I mean, he should have kept his jersey on, tell people to pay for him without a shirt on, by the way. He's ripped. He's absolutely jacked. But you're saying the complete opposite. I think the stats and numbers actually legitimize the fact that Jose Altuve never did any of this, which is what he's saying.
Yeah, men lie, women don't. Men lie, women lie, stats don't.
Yes, okay, and say what you said again. You said 80 points. Let's assume people that aren't in the baseball world have any clue what that means.
So on the road, Altuve was hitting 381.
Okay.
At home, he was batting 311.
Which they could have only been able to do this at home because they had the camera set up in center field, which could have got the robot's brain on it, right?
And then the Astros on the road were hitting 285, and then we're hitting 279 at home. So they were better on the road, too.
So everybody, is this all just
maybe
one
his
big
wife just didn't want him getting stolen by thoughts.
Hey.
They're cheating everywhere. They're cheating
All
everywhere.
over the place.
I mean, if you're
Are you saying this strictly because you're a diehard Yankees fan in the particular home run in question with Altuve with the jersey thing directly led to a Yankee non-winning championship?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. But also, I mean, if this guy's attaching an exoskeleton to his body before he's going up there to hit, I mean, I'm assuming he could probably do it on the road. They got, and it's not just Altuve. He's obviously very good. I mean, you still have to be able to see the ball and hit the ball and all that kind of stuff. But I still go back to, like Tony was talking about, the stats. You look at the splits when they were playing at home in the playoffs versus when they were playing on the road in the playoffs. You get home field in the playoffs, guess what? You get to cheat at home. So, I mean, they're cheaters. They
turns everything on its head because you would assume, like traditional thinking, oh, they're better at home because they get more rest, fresher legs, fresher bats. Nope, could see the future. I mean, it's a hell of a difference maker.
That's basically what it was, by the way. That robot was Watson telling the future to the batters. And I would like to know, because the original story when we first had Tucker Barnhart on, who's a Gold Glove catcher for the Cincinnati Reds, he basically was stating that as a catcher, it's your job to disguise the signals. So if they're hitting bats, and even if there's somebody watching a stream, like, he doesn't give a damn. It's his job to be able to disguise that. It's his job to go to the pitcher to change up the signals and everything like that. Now that, and they would hit on garbage cans and whistle. I guess the Toronto Blue Jays were caught on. Is that what it was? Who caught on to the
someone just said it.
Oh, the White Sox.
The White Sox caught on to
The Astros banging on the garbage can.
on garbage cans, right?
Yeah.
So Tucker Barnhart said that if they were banging on garbage cans or whistling and the catcher can't hear that and notice that that's happening and change the signals, he was almost like fair play to him. Like, hey, if that's what they're doing, it's an unwritten rule. Is it shady? Yes, but fair play to him. Now that there's been talks about buzzers and robots and algorithms, I think that has completely changed the narrative of this thing. And I'm excited to see how MLB digs themselves out of this because it's all the big names. Mike Trout even got dragged into it last night for a thyroid gland issue. It was just like everybody in baseball is just getting attacked right now, and people are coming out. It's like the Denny's waitresses. It's like the Denny's waitresses whenever Tiger Woods story. Like, people are just coming out of the woods, just coming out. It's insane. I mean, like, oh, you remember a cork bat guy was using? Oh yeah, that was happening, and he was getting buzzed. So think about that. I mean, it feels like these stories are just going to keep coming because over the last 48 hours, I have learned more about how Major League Baseball operates than the previous 31 years and 300 days or whatever of my life. And it has been wild to learn about how baseball operates. And I played minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I would have known that there was a chance to hook me up to a buzzer so I know what the hell that pitcher was pitching, I wouldn't have fell on my face when that first curveball came in. I feel like that's a nice little piece of information to have, especially if you're a professional, and I've learned a lot about baseball.
Well, and also, like you said, moving forward, there's a Twitter account right now that's posing as Carlos Beltran, the guy who just got fired by the Mets, as his niece. Mm-hmm. And she has like all this inside information about what they were doing, players that were using it. A lot of players think that is a player's burner account, so he knows like a bunch more people that are doing this as well. So
we got burners leaking information that's taking down the MLB that's supposed to be Carlos Beltran's niece?
Yeah, pretty much.
I love 2020, man. 2020 is wild.
Those stats you guys, was that the regular season?
Yes.
Oh, because the playoff ones are strikingly different.
Correct.
In a way.
Yeah, well, exactly. I went with the larger sample size.
Maybe they only did the buzzer. Maybe they only did the buzzers in playoff games.
Could have been.
Right? Because playoff games a lot more
It's a small
important, way
sample
more.
size. I went with a big sample size. I mean,
Also, the only ones anybody watches.
correlation.
The only one anybody
Yeah, the only ones that matter too.
Yeah.
A squared plus B squared, C squared.
Yes, it is.
That's the Pythagorean.
No, you got to win the regular
Pythagorean.
season to get into the postseason. That's how it works.
Can you explain what A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
Pythagorean theorem. It's a triangle.
All right, let's go to Sebastian down there in Pasadena, Texas. Is that near Houston? How do you guys feel about the Astros and Jose? Jose's alleged cheating down there, sir?
I mean, come on now. It's the Astros. We know we're one of the best dynasties, and this is just to bring them
Yeah,
down.
because you cheat.
Hold on. Dynasties and asterisks is a pretty big part of professional sports these days.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say it because I don't truly believe it. I don't think that the filming that the Patriots did this year has any bearing on anything that they did. Deflategate, I was in that game. I think was blown way out of proportion. I think everybody. But to people that are outside the Patriots world are like, yeah, they win, but they cheat. And now with the Astros, they cheat. San Antonio Spurs, something can't come out about them. And the North Dakota State, whatever they are,
Bison.
something can't come out about them either. It would be sad that all dynasties will be linked to something with an asterisk. Nothing can be pure anymore, Sebastian.
I mean, it's the sports world. Nothing is really pure. But everybody cheats in their own way. This is alleged, but I think I saw this. But at the Red Sox versus Astros game in 2018, whenever the Red Sox eliminated the Astros, you could literally see, like, what's his name, Price, the pitcher for them. You could see his jersey stick to his hand whenever he touches his jersey.
Get out of here.
Hey, Sebastian, that's something I think I do remember seeing, that he had some sort of stuff on his fingers, right?
Yeah, guys do that all the time. Though.
They have it on their hat, right? Don't they?
Part of the
Pine
game.
tar.
Part of the game. Part of the game.
Is that what baseball is, though?
Well,
Is that what baseball is? It's like, part of the game. If you could swindle a little bit, if you can get a little bit of an edge in a professional manner, it's just, charge it to the game, dog. Charge it to the game. Oh, they got robots breaking down algorithms, buzzing it? Can't charge that to the game. That is cheating. That's what is that where the line is drawn? Is this what happened?
Yeah, I think so, because like that pitching thing, like a bunch of pitchers do that. Like that is like one of those unwritten rules. Well, guys will put pine tar on their hats or something like that. I mean, with Altuve, we're talking about a guy who had like a Terminator like eye implanted into his head, so he could see what pitches are.
That is alleged, by the way. That is not.
That is alleged.
That is alleged. That is alleged. But it does feel like with the wire and everything, it does feel as
It's
if
an exoskeleton.
we have to get to a break. This baseball, this is the most baseball talk. Maybe this is good for baseball. Maybe they should figure out different ways to cheat, because that's the only time anybody talks about them.
But doing it all ever since baseball's created.
You said that baseball 2 years ago found out about this basically, and they instituted a rule that was like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. And they wanted to keep it under wraps. They didn't want the public to know about it, probably because of the steroid era when everything got blown up. Is that accurate?
Yeah, basically a report came out that people knew they were doing this. They tried to bring it to the Astros and to the MLB, and they were just like, hey, you know what, let's just let's wait.
Our fans are dwindling, okay? We're not going to talk about this anymore, but we got to burn the tapes, like what allegedly Goodell did to the Patriots.
No.
That's what everybody says happened.
If this,
that is what is alleged to have happened up there. I don't believe it. Now, granted, I would like to see a world where Goodell's standing there and Belichick's on the other side, and they just like do the little gasoline thing as if it's like a campfire.
Yeah, DAZN should pay for that and give them both $1 million.
You know what? Throw Brady's phone in there too.
yeah.
Burn that one
He
too.
does that every 3 months. That's normal. Okay, that's normal.
Could you imagine, though, if the NFL comes to you and is like, all right, we need to go through your entire phone? I'd be like, that's going to be a no for me, dog. Like, everybody was like, just hand over the phone, Tom. It's like, wait a minute. What? No, why? Tom Brady, a guy who probably has hilarious contacts. I couldn't even fathom the conversations he has with people up there. I wouldn't want to do that
Pictures of
either.
his son kissing him on the mouth.
So there's this guy.
It's normal, all right?
I don't think it is.
In Brazil, it is.
Okay. All right. Because they are an international family.
Exactly.
Good point.
Good job, Connor.
Connor, look at you being cultured.
Hey, this is the only time it's going to happen in 2020, so mark
Was
it down.
was that the spin zone by all New England Patriot fans, by the way, when everybody was saying that?
That was my spin zone, yeah.
So that isn't true. You just made that up.
No, I'm pretty sure it's true. No,
You
it's
just lied.
true.
You're living with Zito too long. Just that.
Whoa!
Yeah, you didn't
What'd
deserve
I
that.
do?
You would just make up things just to get out of
They're
situations.
85% right. 75% of the time.
So there's this guy that is 100% right in Philadelphia that I've been hearing about for years. And we've been telling you about his diamonds. If you've ever been to Philadelphia, if you've seen it on the billboards, you've heard it on the radio, I hate Steven Singer. He's been making it too easy to buy gifts for over 4 decades. I know we just made it through Christmas, but Valentine's Day is right around the corner. You're probably thinking, I'll just get her flowers again. But flowers die, just like the MLB, and they end up in the trash within a week. Give her a gift that lasts as long as your love. A real 24-karat gold dipped rose from Steven Singer Jewelers. Picture it, a real long stem rose preserved and dipped in 24-karat pure gold. This real rose will last forever, and it comes with a lifetime guarantee. You ship it for free in a beautiful gift box with your own personalized message of love. These roses won't wilt or die. Don't even need water. And they will remind her every single day of your love. If this is your first Valentine's Day together, Steven's Signature Red Rose is a classic at only $59. Go online to IHateStevenSinger.com, click on the roses, and become a hero this Valentine's Day. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, all the time. Wow. Hey, Valentine's Day is an effort holiday. Put in the effort. IHateStevenSinger.com. Get this rose dipped in gold. We have a couple in the office. Very cool looking.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't die.
No.
They don't die. I think it's only $59 too, and you look like a real hero.
Yes.
We'll be back on the other side with some phone calls, and then Derek Morgan joins us, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, to talk about those Tennessee Titans. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show. Beat's about to drop. We're waiting.
Bring that beat.
Dawn. Oh, Dawn! Dawn! Dawn, that beat. The beat was building. Dawn. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, baseball show. A lot of baseball chatter on this show because of the developments that have happened are just absolutely insane. In the first hour, we got a chance to talk to Michael Lombardi about the championship games this weekend, and we should definitely hit on that because not to be lost in this entire Terminator buzzsaw situation that's happening in the MLB, the death of the MLB completely, there is a massive weekend for the National Football League this weekend. Now, reports have come out that the NFLPA and the NFL are basically nowhere near agreeing on a new CBA. There's been some things that are tentative agreements, but anytime you're talking about percentages of revenue and all this stuff, that is going to be a long negotiation. So the NFL and the NFLPA are nowhere near basically getting a CBA deal done. It was reported that there might be one done early. There's no way that's going to happen. It's going to take until the 12th hour just strictly for the optics of it, because if you're on the wrong end of the negotiation and you get a deal done early, you look even worse. You look absolutely worse. So it'll come down to the 12th hour regardless. But that's really the only NFL story that's been talked about today. And everybody's forgetting about the championship weekend this weekend. It's massive. Our final 4 teams of the National Football League 2019 season are playing this weekend and decide a champion in the NFC and the AFC. It's something that I think the ratings will be insane. I honestly think the ratings will be insane. But has the MLB done it right by releasing all this information to steal the topics of conversation? The only NFL stories right now are negative ones about wide receivers and the potential NFLPA and NFL agreement. But other than that, it's baseball talk in the middle of football season. This is unprecedented for the sport of baseball. Maybe all these cheaters and robots and buzzers and all these things are good for baseball.
They originally tried to bury it because they released it the same day as the national championship. Little did they know, though, there was more teams participating, and this had some legs.
By the way, releasing it during the national championship, good idea. That's a good news dump. The Friday news dump, by the way, is not a real thing. The internet keeps things alive throughout the entire weekend. It's almost worse on Friday as a Friday news dump because it looks like you're trying to hide it. Now, granted, national championship's on Monday. I very much understand that. But the old news dump during big events, I think in the modern world, people are like, okay, we'll get to that. Hey, we will get to that. Don't you think that we're going to miss what you just did? I think that's a real thing. But MLB, it might be that every single team is cheated, and I'll be excited to see how they battle out of this situation. Also excited for these games on Sunday. 2 games they're on at 3:05 and 6:40.
Correct.
Yep.
3:05 and 7 probably, right? Let's assume that one gets delayed. 3:05 and 6:40 on Sunday. I like the back-to-back. I like the chance to spend Sunday with the NFL, the National Football League. I think everybody in the world is in the agreement that the Chiefs are going to win that game against the Titans, but everybody was in agreement that the Baltimore Ravens were going to smoke the Titans. Are the Titans the team of destiny? That is something that you have to think about right now. You look back to the Giants, and I know it's a cliche thing to say, but that Giants team, when Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning, when they eventually went on to beat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl, Tom Coughlin was almost fired like week 10, week 11. And then they got hot. They went into the playoffs as this team that was supposed to get out in the first round. They get hot, win a Super Bowl. Steve Weatherford pins the Patriots inside the 5, I think 5 times or something like that. They win a Super Bowl. They were a team of destiny. Then you look at the Astros, the Nationals that beat the Astros somehow, by the way.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, the Nationals beat the Terminator teams that were buzzsaw. They were a team of destiny. You look at the New Orleans Saints after Katrina, team of destiny. You look at the Patriots after 9/11, team of destiny. This Titans team, now granted, there's no national disasters that have happened, but it feels as if this team has destiny on its side right now. It feels like this team has come out of nowhere and got very, very hot. And if there's any team that could just slaughter a destiny, now this Derrick Henry video of him stiff-arming a helmet on a stick while Mike Vrabel is hopping on his back and getting carried, the head coach of the team, is insane. And Derrick Henry is obviously going to be a massive part of the success of this whole thing. But if anybody can just saw right down the center of destiny, it is this Kansas City Chiefs team with Andy Reid, a beautiful mind, and Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback. They have so many weapons. They were down 24-0 or something last week, and it didn't matter. They ended up winning by 20. They're like the Golden State Warriors were a few years ago, where everybody could get hot and score 40 at any given moment. That's what it feels like for the Chiefs. Every single one of their wide receivers could go off for 250 yards, and none of us would be surprised. And that's just the way the Chiefs are. So I think the Titans are running into too big of a problem here, but we thought that with the Ravens. I would not be surprised if they keep it close and maybe even win the damn thing.
I think Titans might be the team of destiny, but the Patrick Mahomes is the human of destiny. Like that.
Oh,
that guy
the
is
human of destiny.
Oh yeah, he is all powerful, all knowing, all throwing.
Oh,
Tony.
Patrick Mahomes is I love that man, and I will never, ever bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Let's remember, Alex Smith was the quarterback for the Chiefs. They beat the Patriots week 1, and then they went on to win a lot of games, and he was an MVP conversation. And they did so well that during the last week of the regular season, they rested Alex Smith, and Patrick Mahomes played against the Denver Broncos in Denver, gets a win for them, plus all the things that they probably saw on the practice field while Patrick Mahomes is the backup. Whenever Andy Reid decided to get rid of Alex Smith after his best year he's ever had, Alex Smith, get rid of him and put Patrick Mahomes in as a starter, we all left. We literally all left, except for the Kansas City Chiefs people, except for the fans of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now that we've gotten a chance to watch this guy, what an unstoppable force this dude is. Every single throw, he had a dislocated patella. He came back 2 weeks later. He looked even better. I mean, he is the prime football player, the prime quarterback that they're going to be trying to. Now, him and Lamar are going to be awesome to watch for the next, 10 years probably. Mm-hmm. They're going to be awesome to watch. But when you talk about the quarterback position, drop back pass, magical throws, strong enough arm to throw it out of a stadium. I mean, he is just so fun to watch. I'll be excited to see what the Titans team can do to corral him in that offense with Andy Reid just drawing magical lines. Like, all right, Tyreek, you're going to run here, and then go. And they're like, that's all pre-snap. So then they have to give away if they're in man or in zone because Tyreek Hill, you have to figure it out. Travis Kelce is a weapon. Sammy Watkins is so good. Mecole Hardman is an animal. LaShawn McCoy still got it if you need him, and that other running back. I mean,
Damian Williams.
It just keeps going. It's like they have so many weapons in the defense. If they can obviously not play like they played in the first quarter against the Texans, for the rest of that game was pretty much shut down. It's just that team feels like they're going to be very, very difficult to stop.
It's tough to see the Titans winning just because not very often does it happen where a team can just absolutely dominate the time of possession and still potentially lose by 2 scores.
You're talking about Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, the Chiefs could have the ball for 10 minutes on Sunday and still potentially win by 2 touchdowns.
Legit. They score so fast, so quick. And it doesn't matter what the weather is. Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball in any weather. He is an all-terrain quarterback, and that is something that you need in the playoffs, especially with potential bad weather over there at the Kingdom.
And you brought up Shady. It's like they're keeping him. He didn't have one carry. He didn't have one touch on Sunday.
Andy Reid said he's resting him.
We'll bring him in when we need him.
What is it? Second half? We're down 3. All right, Shady. You've been rested for a month and a half. Here you go, pal. Let's do it. 11:30. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to Chris in Miami, Florida. Chris, what's good, dog?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
How's it going?
So you boys pumped up for the return of the King of the Octagon this weekend? I haven't heard you guys shout it out.
Oh, you're right. Yesterday we were supposed to talk about it. We didn't get to it because the baseball talk and Aaron Hernandez talk kind of took over. This weekend, though, Conor McGregor returns to the octagon to fight a cowboy. Conor McGregor, who has been sober, he says, for 3 months now, 4 months. He said the last time he fought Khabib. He was taking shots on O'Brien's show, Fight Week, So he said he's completely focused. He's ready to get back in the octagon. I'm sure Dana White is happy. I'm sure Cowboy Cerrone's happy for the opportunity. But honestly, I don't think any of us have any idea how Conor McGregor is going to perform. It is very difficult in my eyes to continue to want to go train to get punched in the face and tapped out and have humans rolling their midsections all in your face every morning when you have $1 billion, which is what has been reported that Conor McGregor made off of that Proper 12 thing. I'll be excited to see if he's been able to train his hardest through that and get another win. I'm assuming you're excited for this because you mentioned it. Are you a big MMA guy?
Dude, huge MMA guy. Actually, I'm excited for a few fights on this card. I got some blocks for you if you're ready to bring out that hammer.
Yep. The hammer, I don't know.
All right,
you.
let's get into it. So we're going to start. We're not starting with the king himself. We're going to start with
Hold on.
Whoa.
What I need a little bit of legitimacy from you on why we should take any of your bets serious to anybody that's listening.
Fair enough. I should have started with that first. I mean, Pat, my numbers don't lie, brother.
Okay.
As you guys say, women lie, men lie. Numbers do not lie.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't lie to us.
On my Twitter, I post my picks, and I mean, dude, for the most part, I missed maybe a few. I don't know my exact number on offhand, but I mean, last year I had a couple 12-0 days on some fights. So I mean,
okay,
I definitely know a thing or two.
All right, yeah, and you yourself said men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And then a man told me that his number, so I don't know what to think. You could lie to me. You literally said it yourself. But let's get to it. I trust you, Chris. I'm a naive person. I got the hammer out, and I'm excited to lose money this weekend or win money with Chris in Miami, Florida. Let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, all I'm saying is just make sure you hire some extra people because, a couple of your guys in-house may end up cashing out this weekend, may not want to come in to work on Monday.
Oh, I respect
So
that.
just
All
keep
right.
that in mind.
All right, I respect that.
All right. So first fight, we got Askar Askarov. His last fight was against Brandon Moreno in Mexico. And, I mean, dude, it was a draw. Brandon Moreno is a
Nobody cares. You know what? Chris, nobody cares. Just get to the picks. Just tell me the names and who's going to win.
Okay. Hey, I'm trying to give it a little bit of backstory.
Come on.
But I respect it. All right. Askar Askarov, Sadiq Youssef, Nasrat Hakparas, Sabina Mazo.
What are these?
Are you reading from the Torah?
Are these the names?
Oh, my.
What
Boys, I'm telling you, if you want to go to the bank, you start writing these down. You
Okay, Astra.
Sportsbook.
Yusuf.
Astra, Yusuf. Who else?
Yeah. Hakparas.
Hakparas.
Hitting hard on the undercard.
Wow. You like that, Uncle Todd? I heard that.
All right, who's next?
Raquel Pennington. That's one of my dogs. I think she's gonna get one back against Holly Holm. Another one, Anthony. What's up?
No, go.
Another one, Anthony Pettis. Another dog, plus 195 against Diego Ferreira. Again, I think he's got to get that one back. And obviously, last but not least, the king himself, Conor McGregor. Honestly, I like him in round 1, maybe round 2. I know everyone's trying to hype up this idea that Cowboy's going to come back and he's had a good run last year, yada, yada. Hate to break it to you, boys, but Conor's been actually training this year. He even said against Khabib, his training was just he had a bunch of Russians holed up in a hotel room, and he was just bringing them down and fighting them. He wasn't even sparring or doing legit training. So I like to think that if you got an actual camp in, Cowboys, I mean, it's going to be.
All right. Askar Yusuf, Hakparas, Pennington, Anthony Pettis, and Conor McGregor. I'll be excited to see how that kid
If I got that right, you could go money line.
Okay.
100 to win 3,000.
Right there. All right, Chris. We're going in. 11:35. We got to get to a break. We got Derek Morgan on the other side. Excited to chat for him. I mean, honestly, I couldn't have taken UFC breakdown talk right there. He started that out. I almost fell asleep.
Great to watch, but
I watch damn near every single pay-per-view that they have. You get two humans in there cockfighting, I'm all in. I mean that is a real mentality that I do not have, that I absolutely respect. To be able to walk into a cage and literally attempt to kill the other person. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to knock their brains so hard inside of their head that they just become unconscious. And then when they're unconscious, they are going at them again. And then afterwards, it's a lot of respect, which I understand. I understand it's an art. I understand that it takes an incredible master craft to be able to do it. But that mentality to knock somebody out and then attack even more is something that I'm intrigued by. And that's why I'll watch it. But I don't know a damn thing about any of them. All I know is Conor McGregor said he hasn't been drunk in a couple months. So I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
But he's going against Cowboy. Cowboy's going to go in there and swing is what I've been told. Todd told me that they won't take it to the ground because those two want to have a good fight. So it's going to be two little guys swinging haymakers at each other's heads. And I'm here for that. And I hope Conor McGregor wins. Or Cowboy. I don't care. Yeah. I hope they do well. 11:35. We're back on the other side. It's the Pat McAfee Show. I just hope it's a good fight, guys. Hope they have fun. Sports all day. I am gonna talk sports. Sports, of course. Sports all day. Not a bad song. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Terrible show. I have no idea why you listen. We dove deep into baseball here for the first hour and 40 minutes. None of us have any baseball experience, but we do read the internet, and we think that old Jose Terminator Altuve potentially altered the state of the MLB forever.
Do we?
Joining us now is a man from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a man who is incredible football player for the Tennessee Titans. I think he has all of their tackling records, basically. Former linebacker and medical marijuana advocate, Derek Morgan. He's back. So what we were saying was, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, former linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, Derek Morgan.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. You look fantastic, by the way. I hope life is good over there. Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans real quick. Are you still a massive fan, and have what they've done surprised you at all?
I can't say I'm like a massive in the couch watching every game type of fan. I never have been like a football. But I am. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised. I'm just more so. I'm happy for them because I seen what's been brewing for the last couple of years, and so now it's finally coming to a head. And to see them have success this year has been real gratifying.
I think the Titans have always been this close to success, Derek. When you were playing, always been this close to success. Such a good team for so long. Now this year they've gotten hot. It feels like they've rebuilt that team. Vrabel's got them going. That's good for the entire organization, I'd assume.
Yeah, I would definitely think so, man. I mean, it's we've had some tough times over the past decade, and then we had some tough times with the Colts. I never got a victory versus the Colts in Lucas Oil Field. So I think that what they're doing now and the trajectory that the team is on is very positive for the whole organization. Everybody's starting to believe in where this team could really actually end up.
Derek, I was no part of any of those victories, to be honest with you.
You were definitely on the field, bro.
At some point, but I didn't do anything. You did a lot more than I did. Let's talk about playing linebacker in the NFL, okay? Who is somebody you played against that, like, for instance, I would assume these linebackers now, there's a different hybrid type linebacker now because you got to be faster. You got to be able to cover a lot more. Who is somebody you played against during your playing career? You know what? Like, damn, that guy is a lot better in real life than on film. Because everybody's saying that about Derrick Henry right now. Everybody's like, on film, you see Derrick Henry, you're like, oh, I can get that. And then in real life, it's a whole different game. Who's somebody you played against that was on film, you thought something, and then in real life, it was a whole different occasion?
I would say the first time that we played Deshaun Watson, I mean, even the players and the coaches, we were just like, we weren't too high on him. And we're like, yeah, this guy's just a running quarterback, doesn't really have a great arm. And they hung 50 on us. I found out real quick that guy he was a little bit different. He was special. So I would say the first time we played Deshaun Watson was an eye-opening experience.
You played 9 years in the NFL. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, the new Baker Mayfield, if he can ever figure it out. The new style of quarterback is one that's mobile, one that can make plays. Do you see the NFL continuing to transition that way, or will the classic pocket passer still be relevant in the NFL?
You got to look at the supply. You got to look at the college schemes and systems, man, and it looks like it's been trending that way for several years. So like the end results are these guys that you just named. So I think that the game is always evolving, is always changing, and so to see the evolution of the quarterback position, it's like, when I first came into the league, it probably was like maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks out the year where you had to prepare for running quarterbacks and scramblers. Now, like in my last year in 2018, it was like every week the guy had some type of mobility in the pocket. So like you're seeing more and more of that skill set being prevalent throughout the league.
Derek, you're someone who came off the edge a lot. When you're rushing someone like Patrick Mahomes, are you trying to just keep him in the pocket? Like, can you even do an inside move because if he gets outside, he's probably going to hurt you? Or what's your strategy going against someone like Mahomes?
I hated rushing quarterbacks like him because you got to be so disciplined in your rush lane. So if you do, as a rusher, it's like you want to have that inside move available, but it's like as soon as you go inside and he feels that pressure, he's gone. So you got to be selfless. You got to be really in tune with the rush and the coverage and keeping him inside of this box almost because, he's going to make his plays, but you don't want him to continuously gas you because you have guys just taking inside moves and undisciplined rush lanes. So it really hurts your rush, man. It really does. But it's just something that you got to be aware of.
How difficult is that as a human that knows in your contract that every incentive is for you to get a sack, basically? Every incentive is for you to get a sack. And then you play against these teams where you're basically not allowed to go get a sack. You have to no edge, no chance situation, this thing. How difficult is that to be like, all right, you know what? This is a team sport. I got to do my thing, even though the team itself told me that all I'm here for is to basically get to the quarterback. That has to be a tough balance to be, the business side of it and the team side of it. Obviously, winning is a lot more fun. But when the team puts emphasis on you to do something and it basically tells you can't do it, that's an interesting situation.
Is it my contract year or no? Look, I'm gonna be real with you. If there's been times where it's like, all right, we're on a good team. We gotta get the win for the playoff push and all these things, and you gotta play team ball. So that's just, I naturally I'm a good teammate. I don't sell my teammates out. But if it's like one of them 2-14 seasons and it's like, you're in your contract year and you're trying to make a play, let's just all be real. You got to make a play. So at the end of the year, it's like, hey, I got my stats at least. But it was a balance, man. When you're playing for something special like a championship, you got to throw all your selfish ambition out the window, man, to get it done. Because when you win, as you know in the NFL, when you win, everybody wins. Everybody gets paid. So it's one of those things where I would say it's situational.
Well, situations are situational. And when you say if you win, there's enough to go around. And that's a real thing. Nothing's better than winning in the NFL. Now, granted, I'm assuming there are things that are better, like whenever you have a buzzer on your chest and you hit a home run and it all works out and you win the World Series or whatever. Like, I'm assuming that's good. But winning in the NFL is so much better than losing in the NFL. And I don't think enough people really appreciate like that type of situation from outside the organization. Like when you're on a losing team, life sucks. And on the complete opposite side, when you're on a winning team, life is awesome. It is such a different world. And I'm excited for this championship weekend. How do you feel about the Packers-Niners game?
I'm actually in San Francisco right now, not for the game, but I think the Niners are going to take it. That was my childhood team growing up. So I'm banking on them.
Is that what? Are you out there for the weed? You're out there for the weed.
Nah. The weed, you can get the weed anywhere in California. But I'm out here on a business trip.
What do you do? Now, I've learned that you've been in medicinal marijuana. By the way, genius move by you. Good idea. I've heard you've given a lot back to your hometown, which is awesome. Absolutely incredible. What type of businesses do you get into, Mr. Morgan?
I'm in real estate development, man. So we go around the different parts of the country and really look at what deals are available. We have a team of experts that we kind of put together, and we go into these different markets and we do developments, man. Hey. Mainly around social impact, emphasis on it. So especially in my hometown, that was the whole motivation, man. It's a lot of distressed and underlooked neighborhoods that need help. So we're trying to fill that role.
Well, Derek, you're a good man. I hope you have $1 billion at some point in your life so you can take care of a lot of people. Good luck with the medicinal marijuana and good luck with life. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Morgan. That was a real answer from that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm happy we got that because it's a real thing. Like, corners will have like a pick six incentive in their contract. And it'll be like 35 seconds left, and you're up 4, and you get a pick. And everybody's like, get down, get down, get down. That's a nice thing to do. But that guy with the ball knows, like, there is a $250,000 bonus. Then you score a touchdown, everybody's like, selfish. And he's like, you'll forget about whenever I'm cashing in a check. It's like Ahmad Bradshaw in the NFL, wherever the defense did no moss, I think in Super Bowl. Ahmad Bradshaw.
Yeah, let him in.
They did a no moss, right? Yeah. They quit. The Patriots defense quit or whatever. And Ahmad did like a fake, like, I'm trying to go down, but if I score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. That's a pretty cool situation. Got to balance the humans. Was there any news that we missed, Nick, before this show ends and we send everybody into an incredible weekend?
Tons of music news. Eminem released a new surprise album. titled "Music to Be Murdered By."
Positive.
Mac Miller's posthumous album Circles dropped this morning. Also a new Joe Bro song.
Ooh.
And the K-pop stars BTS dropped Black Swan.
Yeah! BTS! We are part of the Army, obviously, BTS Army. Big fans of it. We're a big BTS show, I think. If we were able to play their music, we would every single break, but we can't. That Eminem album, I was intrigued and excited to listen to it this morning while I got ready. The Godzilla song with Juice WRLD bangs. Everything else, I don't know. It's tough because I grew up in the era of Eminem being very good. And then hearing that to this, it's an interesting world. He still got it, though. That Godzilla song is going to go very, very far. Mac Miller's song, I listened to Good News I think it dropped like a week ago or something like that. Yep. Listen to that. That's a sad album to listen to. Very, very really sad. There's some good songs in there, but if you're a Mac Miller fan, we're from Pittsburgh, so we've known about Mac Miller for a long time. It's a very sad album. I'm happy I got to hear a little bit more from him. And the Joe Bros, by the way, always put out heaters.
Bangers.
That's just what they do.
Bangers.
Excited for that. Good music day. Anything else, Nick?
During Thursday's opening round of this weekend's PGA event, amateur Laurent Hertebries, who was born with one arm, recorded a hole-in-one on the 151-yard par 3.
Hey, good for him, Lord. One-armed man hit a hole-in-one. That's awesome. Maybe I should golf one-handed. I am a terrible golfer. I am not good. I can be good, but when I go out, it takes me 6 holes to warm up, and my score by that point is already so bad, and I'm only playing 9 holes. The final 3, though, I look like a scratch golfer, but it's just getting to that point. I think FanDuel and us are doing something pretty massive around the Masters, where I have to shoot a certain thing, and then they're going to boost things massively. So I got to learn how to be good at golf. Maybe after the Dream Team goes on the Travis Fulton podcast, they can teach me what to do.
You're above average, by the way.
Yeah, give yourself a little credit.
Yeah. I agree.
Tools are there.
I could beat a lot of people at golf, but I'm just saying whenever I get out there with people that actually know what they're doing, it is a long day for me. It is a long day for me.
Somewhat local news, Bob Vollmer, Indiana's oldest state employee at the prime age of 102, is retiring after nearly 6 decades on the job.
Congrats to Bob Vollmer. I can tell that Bob Vollmer has terrible money management.
What was his job?
Terrible money management.
He was a surveyor for the Department of Natural Resources.
I'm happy Bob worked his ass off until 102 years of age or whatever, but he should have been retired.
Well, now he gets to really enjoy it, though. You know?
Yeah.
So
savor the last 10 years or so.
Right.
He said your body tells you when it's time to go.
Yep.
Oh, so he just wanted to go till he can't no more. Good for Bob.
So does that bright, shiny light.
Jeez. Todd, that guy probably lives down the street. Anyways, thank you so much for rocking with us this week. From all our guests to all of you. Yeah, we have no idea why you listen to the show, honestly. There's a lot of other options out there. You should probably do that next time. I hope you have the greatest weekend of your entire life. We'll be in New York for Get Up on Monday, then the show live from there. Excited for championship weekend. Excited for the MLB. Excited for you to have the best 2 days of your life. This has been the Pat McAfee Show from Indianapolis, Indiana! Jeez, Don.